It's December 3rd, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have one of history's strangest disappearances, a stolen heartbeat, and ignored alarms. Let's begin. On December 3rd, 1926, Agatha Christie, one of the world's most famous mystery writers, vanished. That evening, her empty vehicle was discovered abandoned in the quiet English roadside, nose down in a ditch, the engine still warm, and inside only her coat and an expired driver's license. No footprints, no witnesses, and no sign of the woman whose stories captivated billions. As night fell, police expected a simple runaway case. Instead, they found themselves in the center of a real-life Christie mystery, one darker than anything she ever wrote. Over the next 48 hours, fear spread across England. Search parties combed forests, lakes, and quarries, bloodhounds were brought in, and airplanes circled overhead. Volunteers lit lanterns and swept across the countryside in long, silent rows, but the trail kept dissolving to nothing. Reporters speculated that she had staged her own disappearance. Others whispered foul play, or something stranger. Even Sir Arthur Conan Doyle joined the hunt, using a psychic to try to locate her. And then, after 11 days of silence, Agatha Christie reappeared in a spa hotel in Harrogate, registered under the false name Mrs. Teresa Neely, which was the surname of her husband's mistress, Nancy Neely. She claimed to remember nothing, and doctors offered theories, but her amnesia was never fully explained. To this day, her disappearance remains one of literature's most chilling unsolved mysteries. Puzzle created not by pen, but by her own vanishing act. On December 3rd, 1967, South Africa witnessed a moment that blurred the boundaries between life and death. In Cape Town, a dying grocer named Louis Washkenzeki laid in a surgical theater, his failing heart minutes away from stopping forever. Surgeons gathered around him, performing a procedure that had never succeeded in human history, a full heart transplant. For hours, the operating room was silent except for the steady hum of machines. At 1 a.m., Washkenzeki's own heart, an organ that had carried him through every moment of his life, was removed. For those few seconds, Louis's body was neither truly alive nor entirely gone, a body waiting for a second chance. Then the donor heart, taken from a young woman killed in a tragic accident, Denise Darval, was lowered into his chest. Surgeons held their breath as they connected arteries, coaxing the unfamiliar organ into its new home. And then it happened. Pulse. The stranger's heartbeat echoed through Louis's ribs. Word spread across the world. A man had died and been brought back with another person's heart. Newspapers call it science fiction made real. Miraculous, unsettling, and historic. Louis survived for 18 days, long enough to speak with reporters, laugh with nurses, and marvel at the eerie truth. The rhythm inside him was not his own. He said it felt like he was given borrowed time. Today, the first human heart transplant remains one of medical's most haunting milestones. The night a man crossed the threshold of death and returned carried by someone else's final heartbeat. His borrowed heart reminds us how fragile the line between life and death can be, and how boldly humans are willing to cross it. On December 3rd, 1984, just after midnight, a single alarm began to scream inside the Union Carbide pesticide plant in Bhopal, India. At first, workers thought it was another glitch, one of many strange errors that had been haunting the plant for days. Odd hissing sounds, unexplained pressure spikes, temperature gauges that seemed to lie. Supervisors dismissed each warning. The instruments, they said, couldn't be right. But that night, they were. As alarms wailed through the dimly lit corridors, workers searched for the source. Within minutes, the alarms were silenced and reassurance were given. The night shift returned to work, but something monstrous had already begun. Unknown to the workers, water had seeped into the massive storage tank, triggering a violent chemical reaction. Heat was building rapidly inside the steel chamber, pressure rising far from what the instruments could report. And shortly after 1 a.m., it ruptured. A thick cloud, heavier than air, and lethal with every breath, and it rolled across the sleeping city. People awoke, coughing, choking, blinded, and stumbling into the streets already filled with panic. Entire neighborhoods fled into the dark, not knowing what was killing them, or what seemed to be following them wherever they ran. By dawn, thousands of souls were lost, and tens of thousands would suffer for life. Workers had sensed the danger for days. The alarm had tried to warn them. Each sign was misunderstood and ignored and silenced. A tragedy forever told by the very machines built to prevent it, but it was ignored. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.